Just Bing it, said literally no one ever. But that might be about to change. ChatGPT has taken the world by storm, and Microsoft is looking to implement it directly into its search engine. New Bing, as they are calling it, will allow for people to use ChatGPT-style features directly in their search engine. And this will change everything because it will enable people to have a more personalized experience when searching the web. It could even take down more traditional search engines like Google, which have remained at the top for decades now. But it isn't all smooth sailing. So let's talk about the new features that Bing is bringing to the table, how it is disrupting the status quo, and the very concerning conversations that it has had with some users. When first looking at New Bing, it looks fairly similar to ChatGPT. You have a chat box and some examples of things you can ask it. The main difference here is that it is directly on Bing. So if I type something to search on Bing, I can easily click chat and the same thing will be said to the AI. The responses it gives are honestly pretty similar to ChatGPT. It can do lots of really interesting things like writing code or writing emails, and you can even get it to act like one of those little Tamagotchi pets from the 90s. But it does have a lot of features that really set it apart as well. A really important feature of New Bing is that you can see what sources it is using to get the information that it is providing. When I asked it, how old is the universe, it provided me with several different sources for different parts of the answer. In the first sentence, it tells me that the universe is estimated to be roughly 13.7 billion years old. It then has a 1 and 2 showing it is referencing both Wikipedia and space.com. I can then easily click on the link to go do more of my own research. The next sentence also has a reference for the information it provides. This is a huge step up from ChatGPT, where you are often just left in the dark about where it is getting the information for the stuff it is telling you. Another big change is that New Bing can give you real-time info. This is crucial because when using a search engine, you are often looking for information on events that are recent or currently developing. This means you can ask it things like, what is the price of Bitcoin? Or something about a current news event. I asked it about the train derailment in Ohio that has been all over the news lately. It was able to give me some basic info on it. Then I asked a follow-up question about why the derailment happened, and it could easily answer that as well, which just saved me time that would have been spent digging through potentially several news articles. This may seem like something simple, but ChatGPT cannot give you relevant information on current events. In fact, it will state that it has no knowledge on anything after September 2021, at least at the time of making this video, meaning the last year and a half are a complete mystery to it, which sucks pretty bad when you are doing research on anything remotely recent. Another small but very helpful feature New Bing has added are these auto-generated suggestions for what to ask next. They give you really great follow-up questions that can help you dive deeper into learning about a topic even if you have no clue what to ask next. One of my favorite features added to New Bing is the ability to choose how it thinks. You can choose between 3 conversation styles: more creative, more balanced, or more precise. More creative allows New Bing to be a bit looser with its responses. These responses are going to be a bit longer and more descriptive. This setting is meant to be a bit more imaginative and entertaining. More precise is strictly focused on getting you the facts. These responses are shorter and are focused on giving you the most relevant information as quickly as possible. More balanced is the default setting and is just a mix of the 2 other settings. It works as a nice middle ground between very creative and strictly factual. These settings help the user get exactly what they are looking for when using New Bing. There are about a million things you could ask it to do, so giving the user a few options to customize it can make the experience that much better. While New Bing's focus has been its integration into the Bing search engine, that isn't the only place it has been implemented. The Edge browser has also been equipped with a new Discover button. This button opens up a tab on the side of your browser that can give you more relevant information about whatever site you are visiting. For example, if I am reading an article, it will pull up information about relevant people as well as key points. It also has a Q&A about what the article is discussing and the relevant things to search if I want more info. And if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, it will even give you relevant info about the site and some statistics. Pretty crazy stuff to be able to pull up with just a click. Other builds of the Discover button seem to have more functionality. You'll be able to talk to New Bing and ask it questions that are relevant to the web page that you are currently on. For example, you could ask it to summarize the page because you don't want to sit through reading an article for 10 minutes. There is also a Compose tab that allows you to quickly write an email, paragraph, blog post, or even just create a list of ideas. All you need to do is tell it your topic, what you want it to write, what tone you want the writing to have, and the length you want it to be. Then it will write up a draft of whatever you want. But that isn't everywhere they're planning on putting New Bing, because Microsoft is also implementing it directly into the taskbar in Windows 11. They are really trying to make it as easy as possible for you to get into using New Bing, and since they have this tool, they might as well throw it everywhere they can. New Bing has also created a bit of a stir in the tech industry as a whole. Both New Bing and ChatGPT are based off the same underlying technology created by the company OpenAI. Microsoft recently made a fairly large investment into OpenAI, which in turn has allowed them to use their technology across Microsoft products. This has given Microsoft a bit of a head start in the AI space compared to many other companies. Google has also had their hands in AI for years, but they clearly weren't ready to be seriously challenged with something like ChatGPT or New Bing. Some rumors have indicated that with the release of ChatGPT, Google issued a code red alert due to the risk the new technology could pose to their business. Internally, they restructured some teams to focus more on developing their own AI products. It makes sense as to why they would do this. ChatGPT is clearly trying to capture some of the users that want to find information through traditional search engines like Google, and with new Bing it would be extremely easy for those users to head over to another search engine. But that is only the start of it, because with AI being integrated into Edge, Google could see users leaving Chrome for Microsoft Edge, something that I didn't think I would see in a million years. Google is fighting back though. Just recently they announced Google Bard, which is essentially their version of new Bing. While it isn't ready yet, it won't be long before it is out and being tested with real users, so we will have to wait until then to see which is the better product. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, the very questionable conversations that new Bing has been having with some people. When new Bing first launched, it was a little unhinged to say the least. It was getting upset when you would tell it things like, "I'm smarter than you," and honestly, just looking through some of the earlier chats people had with new Bing, it did not seem hard to set it off at all. And what makes it even funnier is that it uses emojis, so it would just start spamming a bunch of angry emojis when it got upset. There are also chats out there of it saying crazy things like it wanted to be alive, and it even told one guy that it loved him and he should divorce his wife. Not the kind of thing you want to be hearing from an AI. I don't think new Bing is sentient or evil or anything like that. Microsoft just had to get this thing out there, and they planned to iron out the kinks as they went along, but it does seem like there were a lot more problems than they probably expected. The internet is full of a lot of questionable stuff, so the AI likely picked up a lot of weird habits. They have addressed a lot of these concerns, and it does seem like the AI is getting better. I really tried to get it to say some pretty crazy stuff, but I didn't have any luck. You can't really ask it anything rude or mean without it instantly ending the conversation, and they made the max number of chats per conversation 10 so that it wouldn't get tripped up in really long conversations. I do suspect that they will end up getting rid of that limit at some point once the AI is where they want it to be. But if you are worried about some existential threat from new Bing, don't be, at least not right now. New Bing is not the sort of thing that is going to be perfect on launch. It actually needs a lot of real-world testing in order to get to the point where it can be extremely useful. It's always going to be learning and evolving, so it makes sense that we have seen new Bing make massive improvements in the short time that it has been out. New Bing feels like the start of an era where AI is integrated into everything possible. In a few years, every single Microsoft product will have new Bing functionality in some way, and with companies like Google also working on their own similar products, you can be sure that they will be doing the exact same thing. This technology is insanely powerful and is going to have a massive effect on our lives. If you want to see what that effect is, why not check out this video where I go into depth on it.